The latest drama unfolding a little behind the scenes is that there's a shortage of new notes. Now, wait a minute. What does that mean? Because obviously when somebody was printing new notes, they did their calculations. They knew how many notes are required to serve the Kenyan economy at this moment. So what went wrong? Well, if you're a regular on this channel, I'm sure you have a pretty good idea. But let me give you a hint. President Uhuru Kenyatta has emphasized that there is no going back on the betting farms manenos. People must pay taxes. And whatever move the government is doing is for the good of the country in the long term. That's a hint related to the shortage of notes. And I'll come back to that in a moment. But first, let us go to Embu, where yesterday there was a very colorful wedding involving the governor of Kirinyaga, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru. Well, it is official now. Her name has changed. She is now Anne Mumbi Kamotho. Her Excellency Governor Kamotho. Because she got married to well-known Nairobi lawyer Kamotho Waiganjo, by the way, who is also a well-respected and well-known political analyst. And in case you didn't know, Governor Kamotho, Her Excellency Governor Kamotho, is fairly new in politics. This is her first term as governor of Kirinyaga. But all along, on her long road into politics, guess who her chief advisor and strategist has always been? Her husband, her now husband, Bwana Kamotho Waiganjo. Now, as expected, hii ilikuwa wedding ya nguvu. All the big boys were there. His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta and His Excellency former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. They're all there. They're usually sleepy. Kiamugumo village. Yesterday, they saw things. Because most of these guests were arriving in very big vehicles, if I can say in Kenya. Gari mzito, zilete watu wazito. And also, no less than 4 helicopters, chauffeured in guests, to this traditional wedding ceremony. Actually, what was happening is that the wedding was being solemnized, made official. It is what some of my friends would call kuweka kiraka kwa harusi. You see, these friends of mine are old-fashioned like me, who believe that before a woman comes to stay in your house, you need to make an official ceremony, invite people, have a wedding. I'm one of those people ambaye akufanya wedding, niliweka kiraka, and definitely I'm not proud of it. I wish I knew. Anyway, I believe we should all wish Mr. and Mrs. Kamotho all the best. Marriage is not a joke, and that is why the recent announcement that former President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, and his wife are celebrating, wait for this one, 73 years of marriage. I believe the average is much closer to 73 days worldwide, and therefore 73 years, that is quite something. Because marriage is ordained by Almighty God. But we've brought in so many complications that have made marriage quite a challenge. Watu wawili wanakutana, wote wako na meno zao zote, na wote wanaingia kwa hii ndoa na tabia zao mbaya. Sasa initial romance ikiisha, ni kuvumiliana tu. That means living in a house together, but you're not communicating. You're not talking. Maybe a communication is what I recently heard that really shocked me, where the wife sends the children to call the husband for supper or dinner. Food is ready. And this is what they say. Kwenda ambia hiyo nugu, chakula imeiva. I'm telling you, true story. My advice, please don't involve children in your marriage dramas. Don't keep them out of it. They were not there when you met. And in many cases, they were not even an idea, let alone existing. They were not even an idea when you first consummated your union. And I dare say, women are the biggest culprits here. They recruit the children, their own children, into their marriage fights. So that the children are on their side, fighting against this evil man, who is supposed to be their father. Just remember, when you do this, what you're actually doing is you're condemning your own children to serious psychological problems that will affect their own marriages. Let me just leave it at that, because today is not a day to lecture people on marriages. Now, before we leave this Waiguru / Kamotho issues, there's something else. Governor of Nairobi, Mike Sonko, has hinted, he has hinted that Mrs. Kamotho may be expecting a child. Sonko urged Mrs. Kamotho, the former Anne Waiguru, to seek the services of Pumwani Maternity Hospital in Nairobi. Most of you will already know that this is one of Governor Sonko's pet projects. He has stormed the hospital many times, sometimes even in disguise, to try and root out all the things that have been going wrong at Kenya's oldest maternity hospital. By the way, even President Uhuru Kenyatta was born at this hospital. Oh yes, in case you didn't know. In my view, if what Sonko was saying was true, and if it is true that he was hinting at the governor of Kirinyaga being heavy with child, then I must say it was way out of order. That's not for him to announce. Anyway, that is my old-fashioned view. I'm aware that many on this channel are not old-fashioned. Now, let us move on to the politics of new money in Kenya. Somebody recently said in my hearing, Kshs, your analysis is wrong. Because you told us, you hinted that these problems with SportPesa and Bet-in are linked to suspected money laundering activities. But then the government is talking about taxes. You've got it wrong. What are you talking about? Let me quickly break that down before we move on. The accounts of a betting company are fairly simple. Revenue comes from people placing bets. And of course, the biggest expenditure is paying out prizes of those who have won. Both transactions are taxed. Okay? Now, in case a certain company is involved in money laundering activities, using their firm, then it is very easy to detect. Because in certain instances, the tax which has been paid will not reflect the revenue, the income, the turnover that is happening in this particular company. And so, it is wise, smart for government, instead of accusing a company of something serious like money laundering, they simply say these people are not up to date with their taxes. This is politics. You cannot make unsubstantiated remarks and say you're suspecting this company of doing this and that. It's much easier to say the taxes are not in order. And then it is up to the companies involved to prove their innocence. Explain why, despite the hundreds of billions in turnover, the company is paying a very small fraction in taxes. Kunaendanga hivyo. I had, of course, earlier on linked this to the shortage of new notes. One of the reasons why there should be a shortage of new notes, one of the possible reasons, is that a huge amount of money which was not in the economy has suddenly come into the economy. You had a warehouse of Kenya shillings 1,000 notes somewhere. Of course, money which is ill-gotten. It has come in through corruption, criminal activities. And there's a deadline. And that very soon those old notes will be useless. And so you do everything in your power to convert your old notes into new notes. Now, obviously, this dirty money, if I can call it like that, has not been factored in when the government was printing new notes. And indeed, the whole idea was to impound this dirty money and not change it to the new notes. Impound the money and charge the people who have these large sums of money they cannot explain. Now, the fact that there's a huge shortage of new notes may mean that those with dirty money may have found a way of cleaning their money, getting rid of the old notes and exchanging them for the new. And of course, when they do this, that money goes right back to the warehouse or wherever it was stacked up. And the result is a shortage of new notes. Indeed, the shortage is so serious that old notes, old Kenya shillings 1,000 notes, instead of being withdrawn from the economy, are still circulating and are still being released by banks into the economy. While what should have happened is that the old 1,000 notes should be coming in and not leaving, being gathered as we approach the deadline in September. Now, one of the things that means is that by the time the deadline comes, it may not be practical to completely withdraw the old 1,000 shillings notes. That is a possibility. But let us wait and see what happens. Now, one thing that is coming out very clearly is that the government is very serious about frustrating those who have stacked up, hidden huge amounts of money in cash in Kenya shillings 1,000 notes. They're very serious about frustrating these corrupt and evil Kenyans. And so, they will not hesitate to crack down very hard on suspected sympathizers of these money launderers or people who are assisting these people to convert their old notes into new notes, even when dire consequences will result for the government, including losing billions in taxes from certain industries that are suspected to have been used by these people stuck with very large sums of money in the form of the old Kenya shillings 1,000 notes. And that guarantees us plenty of drama going forward as we approach that September deadline. Many see this as an extension of the Team Tanga versus Team Keleweke battles, even into economy and financial system. Many people look at it that way. And if this is indeed true, it is very sad. And in case you have not understood how serious this Team Tanga versus Team Keleweke battle is, then you definitely need to take in my weekly intelligence briefs. And by the way, the deadline for the special offer is midnight today, Sunday, 14th July, 2019. Kenyan time, midnight Kenyan time. And those who have taken in the latest edition of my weekly intelligence briefings will tell you, hiyo ni briefing moja nzito sana, highly sensitive and very revealing. It exposes a lot of things that many Kenyans may not know, so that they understand our politics, because our politics right now is Team Keleweke versus Team Tanga. That's really what our politics is all about. Those are the two teams in the wide political divide in the country at the moment. And therefore, this particular report sheds light on current Kenyan politics. That's how I want to put it. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.